Hi everybody, this is Lindsay Smith, and today I'm going to show you my new action set, the Super Dramatic Eyes. I already have an eye set out, but this is a little bit more detailed, and hopefully you'll find it very easy to use. So we're going to go and we're going to find our actions. Make sure your Actions tab is open by clicking Window, Actions, Chloe. And then you're going to click your drop-down menu. You're going to click Load Actions. Find where you've saved your actions. And then I'm going to click this drop-down menu again and click Button Mode. And this vertical horizontal up here at the top will not be in the bundle. This is actually for myself, for my photography page. I've saved my logos, so that's not actually a part of it. Chloe Elena. Hush. Sorry. Okay, so first you'll see you have a slew of actions here. You have Fix Under Eye Circles, Paint All Over Eyes, Bleach White, Whiten, Iris Blast, Brighten Dark Eyes, which is like brown, Change the Color, Mascara, Contrast, Sharpen, and then you have your Flatten and Compression tools. Okay, so first we're going to go to Fix Under Eye Circles. Now this one is a little bit more tricky, but it's still easy to use. So you'll click it. It's going to tell you to select your patch tool and trace around the under eye circle and pull into a clear place. Leave the selection in place. So I'm going to click my stop. I'm going to go over here. It will be under your healing brush tool area. You're going to go down and select your patch tool. Trace around her dark circles. You're going to pull it to a place of skin texture that you like. You're going to go back and you're going to press it again. And you'll see that it subtly took away her dark circles. And if you want to do it again, you just run the action again. Push stop. Select your patch tool and play it on the other side. Click it again. Oops, sorry, I forgot to pull it down. And then bam. I'm just going to patch these, group these together. So I've got them both selected. I'm going to collect my folder here, and I'm just going to put Fix Under Eye Circles. You might notice a few of these new orders pop up. My freebies get bought a lot, although they're free. Then we're going to go down to Paint All Over Eyes. Now what this is, if your eyes are a little bit darker and you want them to be more of a focus, it takes the shadows out. Elena Smith. And I have my brush set to 100. But you can turn the opacity down to your liking. Now I'm probably going to leave mine up a little bit, just because I want you to be able to tell a difference. Let's see, let's turn it down to about 60. That looks good. And then, now, there are two eye whitening actions. There's Bleach Eye Whites, and then there's Whiten Eye Whites. Now, the Bleach Eye Whites is super crazy. It's very bright. You will notice it. Now, the Whiten Eye Whites is more of a natural. But again, with the Bleach Eye Whites, you can turn it down. Turn the opacity down to your liking. I'm going to zoom in here. And I'm just going to go over the whites of her eyes. And I'll sample both for you. And it's okay if you get it outside of her eye or on her iris. You can always go back and paint it off with a soft black brush. And you'll see what that did there. And like I said, the Bleach Eye Whites is very, very intense. Now, if you like natural, which I like a little bit more natural look, it really just depends on the edit. You can use just the Whiten. And it's barely noticed. It's very subtle, but it's very pretty. And then here's the bleach. Bam, that's a lot. And then the whitening, which is subtle. Okay, so now we're going to go into our iris blast. And this works really, really good on blue, green eyes, hazel eyes. For the brown eyes, it doesn't really work too well. And you'll say, oh my gosh, as I'm painting that on, oh, it's so dramatic. It really is. But again, opacity is going to be our best friend. We can turn it down. We can make it to what we like it. You don't have to keep it on the crazy, crazy color. You can turn it down. Now, I have mine set to about 16%, and whenever you load this action, it'll be on 75%. I like to keep my actions turned up, so that way you can kind of see what you're doing, and then you can turn down the opacity layer later. So there you can see what we've done. Okay, so I'm not going to use bright and dark eyes because she does not have brown eyes. She has green, greenish blue. Now, if you want to change the color, we have that option here. Click change the color. You're going to see two come up. You don't have to necessarily mess with this right now. Sorry, the baby is pulling my hand as I speak. Now, let's say, so this is set to blue. So her eyes, when I paint on this black glare mask, will turn to a shade of blue. I'm not going to go too crazy. And you'll see what that did there. Now you can do any color really. You can go more green. You can even go like a brown. But the brown isn't going to be as strong. Okay, it's going to come out more hazelish looking. And I kind of like that green, brown, hazel look. So I'm just going to paint the other one real fast. And then you can see what that did there. Okay, now we have mascara, which she doesn't really need a whole lot. I'm looking for in the, oops, sorry. You'll have to release clipping mask if you play the change color. It will clip it down to the change color. Just move it up and release it if you have played that before the mascara. It just added a hint of darkness and shadows around on the mascara and eyeliner. And then we are going to add contrast. And again, you don't need to do all of these. I'm just, again, showing you what this can do for you. And you're like, whoa, her eyes look so alien. I'm going to show you what you can do here in a second. So this is the contrast. And it's set to 50%. I think I'm going to take it down to about 35. And then I'm going to click my Sharpen. Now, there are two ways that you can sharpen that I've set up for you in this action. Now, this is way too much. This is your high pass filter. You want to turn it down to about where you're not seeing rainbows. So, let's show you here. About there is pretty good. 2.9. Okay, but you don't see any of the sharpness. Now, there are two layers here. The top layer is your high pass. And you can use it. It's totally fine. I use it all the time. Now, but if you want a little bit more complicated, you can go down to your smart filters. I've turned this into a smart object so that you don't lose any detail, and you can go back and change it without destroying the image. So if you click your smart filters layer, you can just paint it on your iris. Sorry, I can't articulate. And you're like, whoa, that's a little bit crazy. Yes, it is a little bit crazy. You can turn down your opacity to your liking, but it isn't going to change what it's sharpening in the picture. So what you can do to change it to your liking, if you're wanting to use your Smart Sharpen filter, you can double click right here. Just going to open your Smart Sharpen. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean that. Double click your Smart Sharpen, where it says Smart Sharpen, not this little arrow pointer. And you'll see I have it set to 310, 4.5 pixels, and reduce noise about 10%. Now, if you're like, well, that's just too much, you can turn down the sharpness to your liking. You can turn down the radius. The smaller it will be, it will only affect the noise. The bigger will affect the bigger objects, like freckles, lashes, eyebrows, anything like that. So, but depending on the size of your picture, you may not need 4.5 pixels. So really, you'll just have to play around, because I can't tell you an exact number because every picture is different. So I think about here looks pretty good. And I'm going to turn, because I turned my opacity down, I'm going to turn it back up to 100 just to see. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Now, but if you're just wanting to use your high filter, you can do that too. And we've already set the radius in the beginning. So again, you can paint over. And you can even add it kind of on the eyelashes or the eyebrows, kind of make some features pop. And you'll see here what that did. It's a little more subtle. I kind of like the smart filter, so I think I'm going to go with that and just turn it down just a smidge. Okay, so now that we have played through all of our features, all of the playable actions, I'm going to show you before and after. So I'm going to group all of my layers together, clicking the top layer, holding my shift key, and holding down, whoops, baby hit me, top layer, and I'm even going to click my fix under eye circles layer, and then I'm going to hit this folder. So we're going to name this Complete Eyes. Okay, so this was before, and this was after. And it just shows you the power. Now, I left it a little bit more dramatic because that is the title of this action set. It is Dramatic Eyes. It is to show you just the amount of power that you can use with this action set, which is amazing. So again, off and on. And she's got such beautiful eyes to start with. But it's just a little tweaking. Now, you can also, like say, I just showed you how to group all of those layers together. Say you decided that's just a little bit too strong. Again, opacity is your best friend. You can turn it down on the whole group so that it's not so affected. I've got it set to about 60 now, and I think that looks a lot better. It's not as crazy, it doesn't look as alien, and it looks a lot more natural. So let me know what you think, if you like it. I'm just now adding it to the shop, so it will be available once this video is posted. And I look forward to hearing from you all. So thanks so much for watching, you guys.